Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is SEWYOURS Designs and I am Jenny. Today I've got a challenging but fun bag for us to do. This one is called the CICI Defender Conceal and Carry Bag. Now, just because it's called the Conceal and Carry doesn't mean that's what you have to use it for. This would be great for traveling and using the conceal pocket to like put your passport or money or whatever, so you can have it close against your body and no one can get at it. So let's talk about this bag. First of all, let's start on the back. So on the back we have a pocket that has two zippers. And the reason for that is if you do conceal and carry, you'll be able to get at your gun or taser or whatever you have in there. You'll be able to get at it really easy. So then on the front we have a turn lock, which then has a nice big slip pocket. And if you open it up, on the inside we have divider pocket, slip pockets. Sorry, this is the zipper side. And then over here you got two divided pockets. Got two pieces here. I made mine out of vinyl and cotton. And for the crossbody, I decided to use the webbing. I really like the webbing. I just think it's fun to work with. I think it's fun to pop out some different colors and something that kind of offsets it. So get ready, because this is the bag we are going to sew now. The pattern is linked into the description. Please grab it and let's get started. Okay, let's talk about the pieces that you're going to need for your CICI Defender's Conceal and Carry bag. But don't think that you can't use this for other things. The conceal and carry pocket is great to carry, like if you're traveling passports or anything that you don't want people to be able to get at very easily. So let's talk about patterns and pieces and what you're going to need. All of these pieces are in the pattern, which you can find linked to find linked to this video. So one of the pieces you're going to need is a zipper overlay. I'm doing mine in leather. You just need one of those. The next piece you're looking at is you're going to need one exterior, which again I did in leather, and then I also went ahead and interfaced and stabilized right away. And then you need two cut out of the exterior lining, and I've already went ahead and put the interfacing on these so they are ready to go. Next you're going to need piece B. This is your pocket flap. You need one exterior, which I have here, and I did go ahead and interface it. And you need one lining. I also interfaced it. Make sure you keep your pattern handy, because some of these pattern pieces do have specific locations for different pieces that we'll be doing. This next piece you're going to have is C and D. This one is C, it's one lining and it's already interwoven. This is the front exterior slip pocket. So this is it should be one exterior and one woven. I wanted to change it up, so I'm doing one in a different color to pop against the dark blue. Next you have pieces E and F. And you're going to notice on the pattern piece that you're going to cut one fully, and then there's a line to cut the next one. So make sure you watch that. You have G and H, which again is the same thing. You have a shorter one, which mine is not here, a shorter one and a full size one. Next you're gonna have I. I is your conceal carry pocket, so you need one exterior, which I'm doing in the lining because I wanted to pop a little different on the front, and then you need one in lining. I have interfaced and heavy interfaced with that one, and this one I just put the woven interface on. Next piece you should have is J. J is going to be your slip pocket. This is going to also be lined and stabilized, and I've already done that. Next you're gonna have K, which is your internal slip and zip pocket. You need 2 linings, and they both need to be interwoven. Next you have N, which is going to be your handle. You're going to, I have to trim this up yet, but you're going to have exterior and your interwoven. And again, I'm using my lining as a pop of something different on the front, so that's why I have the same as my lining. Then you're going to have O, which is your handle overlay. So just one exterior and woven. Next you're going to have front zipper panel. You need one exterior and one lining. I did mine both in lining. Next you're going to need your back zipper panel, one exterior, one lining. This one I did leave as the vinyl and then the lining, and I've already interfaced everything. Next piece is going to be M. This is just your pocket trim. I did it out of my leather. And then lastly, we have our gussets. So we have one exterior already interfaced with the heavy stabilizer, and then my lining. So that is all the pieces that you're going to need for this particular bag. Okay, let's talk about hardware. So for this bag, you're going to need 4 zippers. There's 4. 2 swivel, 1-inch swivels, a belt adjuster, and a turn lock. Whatever kind of turn lock you want. Then you're also going to want your tag, which I didn't pull out yet. You're also going to need number 5 zipper tape. You're going to need a hole punch, rivet setter, of course your cutter and marking pens, and clips and a ruler to have handy. So that's all we are going to need to get this bag started. Okay, let's get started. So first of all, I am not using my vinyl for my handle. I'm going to use webbing. So I will have to make a little bit of alterations. Instead of using 1-inch hardware, I'm going to have to use 1.5 inch. But I will be skipping this part. You also should have zipper pulls. So let me go ahead and add my zippers first. When you're working with zipper tape, it's always a good idea to have a lighter on hand, so you can melt this down and hopefully it won't fray on you. Okay, so So now what you're going to need to do is grab your zipper tabs. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to I tend to do my zippers a little bit differently, but you can feel free to follow the directions in the pattern, but I'm just going to do it a little different. I just like the way they turn out better. So I'm going to sandwich my zipper pulls around my zipper tape, making sure everything lines up. I'm going to clip that in place for a minute. I like to hold this piece together, so I'm going to go ahead and stitch across. It helps with the slipping. So all I do is I'm folding this down and folding the top down and then folding it in half. So then I have that nice crease there and no raw edges. And then, just like I did with the other side, I'm going to put my zipper in and then go ahead and do that one. Then I'll go ahead and do the next one right away, doing the same. Then I'm just going to go ahead and stitch them in place. Careful to keep everything lined up and looking nice. There's one. Let's do the next one. One more. We have both of our zippers done. And if they're not already, you want to make sure that your zipper tape and your tabs are the same size. If they're not, just kind of trim them up a little bit. For the most part, mine are. Okay. Okay. So now my zippers are ready. So we're gonna need to grab next. So now that you have your zippers ready, what you're going to do is you're going to grab pocket I. And you're going to attach your zipper right sides together and clip it into place.
Like they say a lot of things happen in the day. The thing is, it's because people are here during the day. No one's here at night hanging out in the darkness like this.
Yeah. He said like it changes at night. It's like
It feels
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do it on both sides right away. Again, right sides together. The zipper going to the top when it closes.
Just one. Did not like the changes. Okay, so literally the screen and then this. So like literally like somebody was like mad about the changes. And then comes over here, like screams into the recorder, and then comes here and jams.
Okay, so now you can go ahead and stitch these in place with using the seam allowance. Okay, so this is what you have right now. And then what you're going to do is grab the other eye piece. And you're going to sandwich the zipper between the two pieces. Make sure you line up your tops and bottoms. And then we're going to go ahead and stitch these in place. Okay, once you have that done, you're going to go ahead and turn it inside out. Sorry, I forgot my television was on in the background. So right now, this is what you should have. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now. Make sure you get your seams lined up. Feel free to use an iron if you would like. I'm just going to go ahead and put a clip on either side. Okay. Do the same thing over here. And then what you're going to do now is you're going to top stitch, and then you're going to baste close the top and the bottom. Okay. So you have your E and your G. And then we need our exterior center piece, which is C. Okay. I'm just going to set this to the side for a minute. So what you're going to do, so now we're going to take the piece that we just did and we're going to set it on top. Okay, let's find our centers first. I'm going to do that on this piece also. this piece goes right side up. And these are going to go okay, then we're going to place it right side up. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and I think it's baste this into place. Okay, so now you're gonna do the same thing for the other side. And it's gonna make the pocket bump out, and that's what we're looking for. So we're just going to go ahead and do the same thing here. We're just going to baste it in place. Okay, do the exact same thing. Okay, so this is what you should look like. So you have a bump. It makes the pocket bigger. So now what you're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and attach the side pieces. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your first piece, make sure you have your orientation right. The rounded larger part goes towards the bottom, and what you're gonna do is flip this over and line it up with the piece that has the zippers on it. Okay. Do the same over here. Here it is. So I'm going to lay it down here, and again I'm just going to pin it, clip it in place so it doesn't shift on me. You'll need to move your zipper as you go. So let's go ahead and stitch this on with your seam allowance. So now that you have this, what you're going to do is you're going to create this fold that's going to hide the zipper. So let me get this part and I'll show you that. So when we stitch, this is going to hide that zipper. And we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Okay. So now what we're gonna do, okay, So what you're gonna do now, once you have that the way you want it, you're gonna go ahead and stitch this. Wait a minute. So now I'm gonna go ahead and keep clipping this in place, making sure I like the way it's all lining up, make any adjustments that need to be done. Okay, so then once you have that part done, you're gonna go ahead and stitch you're gonna go ahead and baste the top and bottom now, and this is gonna help this all lay nicely as we go. Okay. Okay, so this is what you should have. So when you open this, you have your nice pocket, which goes from one side to the next, which is one of the nice things about this bag, because if you're right-handed, you can have it so your hand can be on your gun if you need to be, on your, if you're walking through a parking lot by yourself, or if you're left-handed, you can switch it the other way. Again, like I said, this does not have to be used as a conceal and carry. Use it for whatever you would like. Okay, so we have that part done. Okay, so now what you need to do is grab your D piece and your F and G piece. Don't mind how mine looks. I made a mistake and somehow cut these in half, so I put them back together because I'm completely out of this colored leather. So right side up for your pocket, or your D, sorry, not your pocket. Yeah, this is your internal slip pocket. So on D, and just like we did with the other one, we're gonna go ahead and line up our edges with our exterior right and left side. Okay, then you're going to go ahead and stitch these on. Once you have those attached, you're going to go ahead and open them up, press your seam, and then we're going to go ahead and top stitch. Okay, so this is what you have. So now what you're going to do is you're going to grab your flap pieces. So we have our exterior and our interior. So there is my bag tag. And I forgot to put the middle piece back on it. Clearly I'm a hot mess today. Please delete all this, Jen. Okay. Now I got it. Okay. So there. That's nice and secure. Okay, put this aside for a moment and let's grab your flap pieces. So what I went ahead and did on the pattern piece, there is a mark that shows you where we're going to put the turn lock. So I went ahead and marked it here on the back. So now you're going to take your two lining pieces, right sides together, and we're going to put them together. You're going to just do the curved edge and top. Leave the bottom open so we can turn our bag. Okay, so now what you're going to do that, you have that together, you're going to go ahead and turn this piece out. Get your seams nice and lined up. Corners looking good. You can iron this if you're using cotton. I'm just gonna put a couple pins in to hold it while I get everything lined up nicely. My chopsticks come in handy to hold everything in place. Okay, so now what we're going to do is go ahead and top stitch, and we're going to go ahead and baste the bottom closed. So what you're going to do is find your centers on both pieces to start with. Do the same thing over here. Okay, so with your piece that we had just previously done right side up, you're going to put right sides together So when you open it, you're gonna be doing that. Now let's go ahead and line up our centers. Once we get this pinned together, we're going to baste it in place, and then we're gonna put the lining on it next. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and baste this in place. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take the lining piece of the exterior slip pocket and you're going to lay it on top, right sides together. And I need to find my centers again. Okay, and then I'm going to use the seam allowance to make sure it's the seam allowance. Yep. You're going to use your seam allowance that's listed in your pattern to attach all these pieces together. Okay, so now that we have, so this is what you had. We just sewed this on, so now we're gonna fold this back and press our creases, and then we're gonna go ahead and top stitch. Now you're gonna top stitch across the top and you're going to baste the sides, okay? Now we're going to clip the bottom, and then we're going to clip up the sides, and we're going to baste all these pieces together. So right sides up, and then we're just going to go ahead and clip these in place, and then we're going to go ahead and baste them in place. Okay, so let's go ahead and baste these pieces together. You're only going to go from the bottom edge where we sewed it onto the pocket around here. Do not do anything with your flap yet. Okay, so that's what you should have so far. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and set this aside. And what you're gonna need to grab next is your interior zip pocket. Interior zip pocket. Okay. And you're going to need your zipper. I'm going to go ahead and put the zipper, pull on right away. Your pocket. So what you're going to do is with your right side facing up, you're going to place your zipper closing to the left, right side facing up. Okay, so you're gonna put your zipper your pocket right side up with your zipper also facing right side up. I clipped it to the edge and now I'm gonna go ahead and baste it in place. Okay. So this is what you should have. And then you're gonna bring the other side up and you're gonna match it up to the wrong side of the zipper. So after you've unfolded it, you're gonna connect it to the side of the tape that we do not have attached to the other side. So this is what it'll look like. So let's go ahead and baste that one on. Okay, so when you open it now, you should have your pocket lining on the inside. Okay? Okay, so we have our zipper pocket ready. So now we need one of the lining piece A and we need our interface. I've already marked the center and I marked a line based on the measurements in the pattern. I'm gonna go ahead and put some double-sided tape on this just to hold it in place while we stitch it. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to line it up with the center and with the line that I measured to make sure I had the right placement. Okay. So once you have that part done, you're going to go ahead and stitch around the outside. Now that that's in place, what I'm going to do, I'm looking for my seam ripper. Okay, I can do the same thing with my X-Acto knife, sorry. I just want to get it started and then I'll go in here with my scissors. Cut into it. So what I want to do is when I'm cutting this, I want to cut the fabric so you don't see it in the window. Being careful not to cut through your overlay or your stitches that you already made. This part doesn't matter what it looks like, you're not going to see it. Excuse me. Okay, so when you've completed it, you shouldn't see any of the fabric. So now you're going to grab the pocket that we just finished a little while ago. So now I'm going to go ahead and line my window over the zipper tape. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sew across here to attach this part, and then I'll attach the other part after. So, this part of it. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to bring this side up to match. Oh, wait a minute, I want to take the double-sided tape off and get it where I want it. So now what I'm going to do is fold the pocket in half and attach it to the top part of the tape that we have nothing on yet. And I'm going to go ahead and sew that in place. So now when you open it, you have a start of a pocket. Okay? And now you can go ahead and go down the sides. Machine is acting up. Okay. So now what you're going to do is turn this over, and then you're going to make sure you keep the lining out of the way, but now you're going to close up your sides. So now your pocket is complete. Okay? Okay. The next thing you need to do is to grab your other slip pocket, fold it in half, and go ahead and stitch down the sides, only the sides. So let's go ahead and turn it right side out. Okay. If you're working with cotton, you can feel free to go ahead and iron it once you get your corners out and everything lined up. which I think I'm gonna do. So now you need to grab your slip pocket trim. And on the edge that is raw, you're gonna go ahead. First of all, I'm gonna fold this piece in half. I'm gonna sandwich my raw edge in between. I'm just gonna clip it in place. My pocket is a little longer, so I'll trim that up after. Right now we're gonna go ahead and stitch this on. I do have two. I'm just gonna leave them even though they're open, but we're gonna be stitching it on to panel A anyways. So what you're going to do is you're gonna grab your other lining piece and we're gonna find the centers. And then using the measurements that are in the pattern, you'll go ahead and attach this to this lining. Okay. Now, where my center is, I'm also going to go ahead and draw a line down the center because I'm going to make this a divided pocket. Okay. So now what you're going to do is go ahead and sew down and over and up. And I like to, you can cut it off and go back over here and do the bottom and stuff, but I like to come to pivot and bring another line down right away just to give it a little extra security there. Now I have two slip pockets, okay? This is P, which is this one, and you're going to need your zipper. So you're going to take one of these and you're going to do right sides together and you're going to pin this in place or clip it in place. Now you can do this by basting this on and then go into the next step, or you can just do this step in one. I'm going to do this step all in one. So first I'm going to get this all lined up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this piece and line this piece up right on top of the zipper. So I'm just sandwiching that zipper in place. Again, you could just go ahead and baste the first part in place and then come back and do that, but I'm just going to do it all in one step. You do what makes it easiest for you. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and sew this on using my seam allowance. So here I'm going to get it ready to top stitch. And you're also, while you're top stitching, you're also going to sew around the whole thing to close this piece up. So I'm just going to go ahead and pin all this to make sure it lines up nicely, and then I can go ahead and close everything up. Okay. So now you're going to go ahead and top stitch. Okay, so this is what you should have right now. Okay, so next what you're going to want to do, now you're going to need pattern piece Q. Okay. I'm going to do the exact same thing I just did. Make sure it's right sides together, your zipper and your piece Q. And then just like I did before, I'm going to lay my lining piece right side down, sandwiching that zipper. Again, remember you can baste it if it's easier for you. You could even double side tape it if you would like. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and use my seam allowance to stitch this in place. Okay. Okay, and then just like we did on the other side, we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to top stitch and stitch down the side. I'm going to trim that up, but first I'm going to make sure I'm lined up good. almost done. Okay. So now we're going to work on the handle. So you can just set this one aside for right now. You're going to need piece N. So now what you're going to do, you can, draw a line, you can iron it however you want to do. I just tend to iron mine. Now if you wanted to use double-sided tape here, I would just put a small strip here and a small strip there, or use double-sided tape that's a little thicker. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fold my edges over like that. I'm going to clip into place for right now, and then I'll iron it before I stitch it. So you're just going to pull both edges over towards that center. Just do that all the way down. So normally I would have done this in my leather. However, I didn't have enough leather to do my handle, so I'm just using the cotton fabric that I've been using, and I made sure I interfaced it, and we should be okay. So let me just iron this down really quick. Okay. Now that we got that done, this is what you have right now. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and stitch around my handle. Okay, let's go ahead and put our purse feet in. There's different kinds. Mine are just the ones that kind of fold out. Okay, do the exact same thing. This is the first time I'm using this type of foot, purse feet, so I'm not sure how great they are. I usually use the ones that you either screw in or they rivet in, but that's okay. Okay, so there. We now have our purse feet. Okay. I'm thinking I'm gonna pause this for a minute and I'm gonna put some glue on these and let these dry to hopefully ensure that they don't go anywhere. Okay, so let's finish up the gussets. I already have my purse feet in. So now what you need to do is grab your lining piece. And you're also going to need the zipper piece that we already did. So what you're going to do, with right sides together, you're going to line this up on your gusset. Do the other side right away. Okay, so now that you have that part done, we're going to take the lining and it's going to go right side down over the zipper. So we're sandwiching that zipper panel in between the two of them. Okay. Okay. Then, once you have that done, you're going to go ahead and stitch these into place. Okay. Now that you have that done, let's go ahead and turn this around. Okay. So now I want to make sure that I line up here by the seam, and I'm going to go ahead and top stitch that seam. Okay, so this is what you should see as of right now. Okay, so now what you're going to do is we need to go around and pin the raw edges to each other. And you're going to do this on top and on bottom. And it's only on the gusset because we already have it closed off on the zipper panel. I'm going to go ahead and pin both sides right away. So I'm doing the exact same thing on the bottom edge. have that clipped, I'm going to go around both sides, and I'm just going to base them together. Okay, so that is what we have. Okay. Home stretch, guys, home stretch. So now for this part, I want you to go ahead and find the center as best you can. Do it on both sides. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, so now with your right side facing out, all we're gonna do, okay, I'm gonna put the gusset aside just for a couple minutes. So now what we need to do is put our pockets together. So on the piece with the slip pocket, we're gonna attach that one to the one that we made the slip pocket with earlier. I'm gonna make sure I mark all of these because it will be needed when we start putting the gussets on. There we go. And then I'm gonna do the same on the top. And then also on the lining. Okay, so we are going to do the lining right side up and then put the front panel on top. And we're just going to go ahead and line up the centers and then pin it all the way around. We want these pieces to be together when we start putting the gussets on. Whoops. Okay, I almost did that wrong. The lining should be down and this part should be up. Okay, so we have wrong sides together. I'm going to start up by lining up the corners. Now if you notice that one piece is bigger than the other, no big deal, we can just go ahead and trim that. move my flap out of the way so I don't accidentally hit it when I'm sewing. Okay. So that's what it should look like right now. I'm going to do the same thing with the other part. So now what you're going to do is you're going to baste these together. Okay. There. So now we get to put this thing together. So you're going to grab your gusset. Your lining is facing out. So your interior is on the inside. Now I'm going to line up my center points on my gusset. Okay, I'm going to do the same at the top. Okay, once I have that in place, I'm going to put a couple pins around the straight edges to make sure it doesn't slide on me. This one I'm only going to do one at a time because as I go around I'm going to be moving it and squishing it and all of that, so my pins will come undone anyways. So now I'm just going to continue to go around my corners. I'm not sure if I'll have to clip in, but I'm going to do my best first and then I'll be able to tell if I need to clip in. If you do need to clip in, you want to do very shallow cuts, and you'll want to do it in your gusset, not in your actual lining. Again, I'm not sure if I'll have to. I'm just going to pin it and then decide from there. Okay, so that's what it should look like. So now what you're going to do is, using your seam allowance, you're going to go in and stitch this side to your gusset. So usually what I do before I turn it out is I'm going to double check, make sure everything, I didn't miss corners or anything like that. I'm going to trim up some of these corners because when we go to when we go to put the binding on, it can provide a little too much bulk there. Okay, not too bad. Okay, so there is the first side. That's what you should have. So now I'm going to grab the last piece and I'm going to do the exact same thing I just did. Okay, on to the last step. So now we're gonna bind our seams so they look pretty. I actually had the same fabric, so I'm using the same fabric. And I'm gonna start attaching it. The top is up here is where you're not gonna see it much, so I'm just gonna start it up here and it's gonna be raw edge to raw edge. So as you can see, my binding is folded in half. Let's go ahead and go around and clip this in place. After we finish binding, the only thing I have left is the crossbody strap. And I think I mentioned at the beginning, my crossbody strap is going to be webbing and not the regular fabric. This is probably one of my least favorite things. I never seem to get a nice flow with this, but it does look amazing. So we're just gonna take our time. Since we're putting binding on, normally if we weren't binding the bag, I would go in and put another row of stitchings all the way around, another row of stitch all the way around, just to make sure that it was nice and secure. But we're doing it with the binding anyway, so. So now that I have it all pinned and clipped in place, which I'm gonna go put a few more extras in here, just because I know it's gonna shift on me. Okay, now you're just gonna go ahead and stitch all the way around, and then we will flip it over and stitch all the way around again. Okay. So now what you're gonna do, you're gonna pull all of this over to the other side. Okay, so then I'm just gonna go around and fold this over. Don't worry if you missed a couple spots, because you can still hit it on the way on the other side when you're doing it. I just take a second and line it up and make sure that the folds are gonna line up correctly. Just putting some extra clips in. Okay, so now let's go ahead and stitch this side on. So as you can see, you got a nice finished off seam and you can't see it anymore. So go ahead and finish that. I'm gonna go ahead and do the second side off camera, and then we'll come back, turn it inside right, and do the straps. Okay, as you can see, I've got my binding all attached. It was nice to me today. So now, let's go ahead and birth this thing. This is where I usually lose nails. Just keep pushing it out. Okay, so there we have it. One of the things that I will go back and do is hand press all these seams so they open up and lay nice. But here it is. So let's do the crossbody. Go ahead and, I don't know if you're using fabric, that's fine. I'm using webbing. I already got it cut to size. You're gonna need 2 swivel hooks and a belt adjuster, and I'm just melting the ends of my webbing. Okay. So what you're gonna do is take your belt adjuster and you're gonna go up one side of the bar and back down the other side of the bar. And what I'm going to do is pull a couple inches out, and then I'm going to fold it under in half. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to do a box, I think. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my swivel hooks I'm going to pull my webbing through that one and then back up to the adjuster, up one side, down the other side. Okay. And then I'm going to grab my other swivel hook. And I'm going to do just like I did in my belt adjuster. Except for I think I'm going to make it a tad bit smaller. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and do my box again. You can also put rivets in if you would prefer. Or you can do both. Is done. Okay. And there we have it, the CICI Defender Conceal and Carry Bag. I hope this video was helpful and enjoyable, and if you did like it, please take a moment and like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.